We have an oak piece.
Not half rotted.
Half what?
Half rotted. Spalted is what they say. I just
Spalted,
call it half rotted.
spalted oak.
Seasoned.
Yeah, seasoned, half rotted. It's a beautiful lid. Very nice fit. There's virtually no play in the lid at all. That's really well fit. Nice height. Very stable. I like that a lot. Little foot. And the grain matches. So a beautiful little piece, little ornamental top on there. So that's a very nice little piece. Inside, a lot of detail to a nice coved internal. Cupped, it's not square. Sometimes you'll see a straight edge with a squared off bottom, but this has a nice coved inside base. Follows the contour of the outside, so that's a really nice piece. I like that a lot. We have a cherry burl, gorgeous cherry wood. Bob Royce, our demonstrator. Nice thickness. He has a little, in the uniformity of the natural edge, it's nice to see the same thickness all the way around. So we have a little bit of thin, very thin down here where we have thick up here. So that'd be something that would help that piece balance out a little bit more. And but the shape is very nice. I would bring the curve in just so it would come above the tabletop a little bit more. This, if you were to follow that curve down, that's going to go kind of into the table. So that would need to have a little more lift to have this wood removed and just lift that piece up a little bit. It would make it a better piece, I think.
Would you put a foot on that?
I actually would. I would put. That's a good idea. I would put a little low profile foot on that just to lift that up, and that would give it the lift. It'd be kind of nice. This is a very pretty curve. This is cherry wood. Beautiful detail on the foot. A lot of time was spent identifying the artist, date, and the type of wood, rim treatment, beautifully finished inside, well balanced. That's a really pretty piece. This is kind of cool because having a piece with dramatically flat plane surfaces contrasting with the natural bark and a curve is really kind of a cool combination. And to add to that is a little cove base, which is really neat. This is a very interesting piece. Captivating. Cecil Rayner?
Can I make a confession? Sure. There was some boys in there and I put so much CA glue that I glued the chuck. It took a week of soaking to get the chuck off. I actually had to cut that off the chuck. Or it would have been thicker.
You saved it. That's a very honest confession, but considering those challenges, you created a beautiful piece.
Chris, can you tip the inside? Thank you.
Curve is nice, and love the rim treatment. Well balanced rings around the rim, and
I know the lady who planted that dogwood tree over 50 years ago.
okay, so it has some special meaning. That's a really, really unique and pretty piece. Very artistic. I like that a lot. Couple of pieces from our demonstration last month with Lars Nyland, the three-cornered bowl, and that's a great example of the demonstrator's demonstration. It's really pretty. It's cool to experiment with things like this, just to try things and what looks right and what things work for you. It's another similar, very creative and artistic design. It just, you got to look at that and wonder how you created it, or I mean, that's just very interesting. It almost looks universal where well, that's the base. Nice cove inside. Nice thickness, uniform thickness on the rims.
It's been fun holding that.
Top and the bottom.
This is another Bob Royce piece. Bob does really pretty work. And a little burnishment on the base. Beautiful finish, rim treatment. Again, a nice coved internal surface. It feels balanced. It's not heavy on the bottom. It's a uniform thickness all the way through.
Did he label the wood?
Sycamore. So,
That's what I thought.
what's that? Yeah, and actually, yeah, that's a good point. Bob took the time to accent the internal rim of that piece, which really brings out the accent of that bowl. I don't know, really frames the bowl. He's got black burnishment on the outside and inside of the rim. That's really interesting.
How do you black burnish the inside?
I think it's with wire.
How do you hold the
Is that a
wire?
little redundant?
Use a piece of mica.
Oh, yeah.
Spalted maple burl.
I think so. It's a piece of burl I got here. I started to try to make a bowl out of.
Okay.
Just got breaking off there inside making it a hard piece.
Okay.
There's a lot of learning in that.
Okay. You know what's cool is you kept the high points. A lot of times these will break off, so you have some nice fine tool work that you can keep those high points.
That was tough.
Yeah, it takes a lot of
That was
patience.
frightening.
It takes a lot of patience. And with this, visually, I would want to maybe take some out of the internal, take it down to a
I wanted
nice.
to, but I was getting scared from the
Keep your hands away, right? When this thing is spinning around, you definitely don't want to get your fingers caught.
Knife edge.
So anyway, yeah, if you could make a nice round bottom inside, that would really be something. Follow that curve, because that's a nice external curve. And I like a turn foot. You know, it's a turn foot. I'd like to probably see a smaller foot. And but yeah, that's really interesting. Let's see. We have ring, goblet, and that is hard to do. It really is hard to do. It takes a lot of technique to separate those rings while you're turning it out of one piece of wood. I've tried this a few times. It's really challenging. And to sand it before they go free. So that's an interesting piece. Kids love this kind of stuff. You know, the curiosity of how'd you get those rings in there. You know, they don't realize it was all one piece.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Somebody, I've forgotten who the demo suggested, you know, you're talking about sanding it before you cut it loose. What he did was he take the pieces of sandpaper to the shaft and then move his rings around and sanded the inside.
Different methods for sanding the rings. Yeah, that would work. That's a pretty piece. Interesting. We have, I brought a couple pieces. I was experimenting, we had a demo on coning a while ago. So I got a piece of maple and I thought, heck, I'll try to take a cone out of it. So I just created a smaller version of the larger piece, but that was all one piece.
Now, how'd you free it?
With a crowbar.
What speed?
Probably 1,000. I stopped the lid before I used the crowbar. So anyway, it was kind of fun. Really colorful wood, you know, ambrosia maple. So I just wanted to show an example of a cone. Yeah, I'm getting away from thin pieces. I almost like something that's more substantial. Little basic spalted maple piece, pretty shape, turn bottom, engraved. Yeah, just a nice internal work. You could use a little scraper, you know, a round nose scraper, and just go from the base and come out at an angle. You know, turn a angled scraper on its side, like a flat nose, flat scraper, tip it on its side, and just you get a little shearing cut as you come out on that, just to clean that inside up. Kind of like a flat scraper, round.
I understand that, but turn it up on the side means you're
Just
resting
tip
on
it.
a short, on
Right.
an edge instead of on a
Yeah,
flat.
you can just tip it a little bit and bring it out carefully.
Do a real good shear straight now.
You have to be sharp. Here's this little maple piece, spalted maple. Nice. It's a substantial piece. It's got some weight to it. Turn bottom, and nothing wrong with that. It's pretty.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you, both of those faulted bones, I'm not really pleased with the way that I turned them or the finish, but I brought them because I had asked you about polycryl and so forth a couple of meetings ago, if you had ever used it or anything.
To dry it.
So both of those, the spalted wood was so rotten, it just came out in chunks, literally, when I tried to cook it. So I used polycryl on both of those, and I think it turned out really well.
I think they did. I think they did.
You soaked it or brushed it on or?
On those, actually took those and put them in a vacuum chamber because I didn't want to wait a week like it said doing. I'm too impatient, so I simply put them in a vacuum chamber and filled it up with polycryl and pulled a 26-inch vacuum on it for an hour. And I said, they're saturated now.
Okay, it worked. You were a good result.
Stabilized.
Yeah, a good result from it.
And that particular piece, I treated with the pentacryl, which is supposed to reduce drying time by 90%. I cut a log that came out of in the middle of May, and it's been finished it was finished before our last meeting, but I missed the meeting. So, I mean, it didn't take very long. I treated that log just simply by setting the log in a pan of the stuff for 2 days, flipped it over, and by the, 2 days on each end, it met in the middle.
Okay, it worked for you.
Yeah, it seems to have worked fine, so.
Keep
I don't know
experimenting
if
with it.
anybody else has tried any or not. That is, to keep it, to shorten the drying time, you use pentacryl. Woodcraft has it, Klingspor has it.
Okay, it's
The polycryl, they are no longer carrying, I don't know why, but
okay.
Craft Supply.
Pentacryl and
those places
polycryl,
all
something
have
to
it.
check out or look
The
into.
catalog places still have the polycryl.
I like the diameter here, and it really accents the natural edge top. Beautiful shape. You have a natural eye for that shape, so that's really pretty. Yeah, it's pretty, and the inside is nice. It's nice and round, nice and smooth all the way through. I'd probably like to see a uniform thickness of your natural edge. This is cedar, beautifully turned bottom. This is Bob Omics. Nice curve. Just nice natural edge, basic cedar piece. It's artistic, as a cove base. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's see, is it a box? It's solid.
Ring holder.
Okay, ring holder. Solid wood, and you did a good job filling that. Is that rosewood dust or super glue and
Most
some
of it
fill?
is just a defect in the wood. I did put, there was a little tiny crack in it, so there is a little bit of African blackwood dust in it.
And that's affected with super glue, African blackwood dust with super glue. Let's see, am I missing anything? I'm not sure what that is.
It's a Morse taper.
Morse taper holder.
This is these are my first 2 pins. These are used to assemble the pins, the headstock and the tailstock. And I made them, this is an MT2 gauge. It's made by sticking your live center in here and then nailing and gluing 2 pieces of wood to match it. Rather than have to shove it in the headstock or tailstock, you should have the same fit. That's what that's here to demonstrate.
A couple of nice pens. I'm gaining a greater appreciation for pens. Recently, I'm learning a little bit how to turn pens. I've never turned pens, but these are absolutely gorgeous. I love them.
You need a bigger lathe.
Yeah, I love the curves on that one. That just is captivating. This is a beautiful design. Those are pretty. No. Let's see.
You saying we're making too big?
No, but they don't fill in.
Oh, here. Okay, here we have a laminated
That was Laura's idea to make a holder or
drive chuck. It's actually a functional tool.
bowl or three-cut.
It's like a drive chuck for use on a lathe, laminated plywood or laminated birch.
Whatever Home Depot they
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can make a lot of tools yourself for jigs and chucks. That's cool. A lot of pepper mills. Who's the pepper mill master? Todd.
Trying to get ready for Lazy Days on the 24th of August.
Okay, August 24th, Lazy Days. Come out and see Todd's amazing pepper mills.
Bring cash.
have a little box there, Chris.
Bring salt.
Acrylic box behind you.
Okay, this.
That was the stopper blade.
Okay, and this was turned. Does the top come off? Okay, acrylic, turned. And that is really pretty. And you can turn all kinds of materials. So it doesn't have to be wood. You just want to be careful not to breathe plastic dust or wood dust. That's really pretty. Very interesting. Very, very detailed piece. A lot of detail on the bottom, which is really, really interesting. I love to see detail. Turn bottom and a nice curve, basic curve, and a nice clean inside. Little lump on the very center, which you might be able to just round that center out and just create a nice, clean interior. Because when you feel that, you have a bump in the center. But I like the finish. That's a wax finish?
Beal. Yeah.
Okay, Beal wax. I love pieces that combine a natural edge with something heavy and all the detail on the base. That is really cool. It's really, really interesting.
What kind of wood is that?
I'm not sure. Looks like oak. Could be oak wood. That's just really creative. It's not like you see a lot of people making that. That's just very, very creative and artistic. And what's cool about this is these are fairly balanced, so it's well centered. We have a black walnut bowl. I think Jimmy Clues would say that's a good, honest piece. A lot of detail, rim treatment, well balanced, nice curve, nice base. Took the time. This is one of Bob's pieces. Bob's an excellent turner. Bob Byrne took the time to put some rings and detail in the base. I like the rim that's coved back like that. It really gives it a nice accent rim area, and the inside is just immaculate. It's just like glass, perfectly smooth, round interior. With the sapwood against the hardwood, it makes a really fun piece, well balanced.
On that piece, I did a little bit of a return on the inside. I've never done that before. What do you think of that? Return inside.
Oh yeah, you brought it in a little bit. Yeah, nice. Texture-wise, it gives you a little handling ability. It's easier to hold.
Nice feel, grip.
Yeah, nice feel, nice grip. Yes. I was looking at this piece earlier. This is in Hawaii, they used to have Hawaiian round bottom bowls, and this is a perfectly round bottom. So what this does on the table, it rocks freely, and that is a very interesting piece. It's got a nice inset lid, decorative lid of, looks like redwood.
It's some type of
Redwood burl.
I think I'm looking for
It's like a redwood of some kind. And the fit is perfect. It's a gorgeous fit, well proportioned, with a gorgeous finial. I think the height is appropriate too. Nice height versus a smaller one. I like the height of that. Goes all the way through. That's a gorgeous piece. The time to engrave it, very detailed engraving with a date on the bottom. That's a beautiful piece. So we have a ball. We have a Joe Bradshaw ball. Yeah. I was looking at this earlier. This is very detailed, very thin, balanced, beautiful inset rim. This is a perfect orb that fits beautifully together, and it all matches up. I mean, the lines all match up very clean. I love an orb or ball shape like that. That's a really neat piece.
It took 2 hours plus 55 years of practice.
Maybe look at it, it's worth it. Able to produce something like that, that's really special. So I like that. Okay. Oh boy. All right, here we are. Okay. We have somebody with a lot of patience. Artistically, it's captivating. You would look at that just in awe, saying, wow, that is really interesting and amazing. Spindle work, probably a skew or very sharp miniature tools.
But Dan have a detail couch.
Okay. I think it's just absolutely stunning, the detail work. Your shapes are also very nice and round. We get back to you. Okay, am I missing anybody's pieces? I missed Marilyn's last time. Thank you very much.